Hello YouTube, this is Ready Set Exploit. We're going to be doing Boogeyman 2, which is a digital forensics challenge from TryHackMe, in which we get to perform some forensics on an email and a Windows memory dump. We get to use some really cool tools, OLVBA and Volatility, which is a great set of tools to have in your forensics arsenal. So I won't take much of your time, I'll get right to it. You are provided with the Windows VM yourselves, and if you want to know where the items are, they can be found in the artifacts directory. So we have the .eml, which is an email, and the memory dump. So first thing is I'm going to open this. Clicked on it twice. First thing I like to do when setting up these VMs, I'm going to go right here, edit, profile preferences. We go to scrolling and we want to allow unlimited. And there we go. So that way any output doesn't get cut off. So we're going to start with the email. We are provided with the info already. We know that a username Maxine viewed that email. So let's see, let's make this bigger. And that's pretty much it. And that's where the attack started. So we have a from address, so we know it came from this email, and that's Maxine's email, right? We have the subject, we have this subject here, it's supposed to be like a resume, and we have the document, which is a Word document. So we can download it, save it. Let's save it on the artifacts directory. There we go. And let's see. So now that we have that, we can actually exit out of this. We don't need it. We have our directory, so let's go there. So artifacts, we have our files. I'm gonna check out the MD5. Some of the doc. Okay, so we could check it with VirusTotal if it's malicious in some way. But from here, what do we want to do? Since we know the attack, at least we believe it started from here, we can check the tool called OLVBA, which is a great tool for parsing Word documents for any macros. So it's already installed on the VM. You can just take advantage of it. I'm gonna go. It's just simple. There's other options as simple as running the command OLVBA and just the doc that you want to run. And it does find some macros for us. They're not very obfuscated. That pretty much gives us what we want to know right away. So it gives us some items here, and we can also do some decoding. It says found some hex decoded strings. I don't believe that's necessary. I have this hex string here, but that doesn't give us much. We do get a URL. So this is when Maxine opened this document. Most likely the macro started, and well, she probably had macros enabled or enabled macros, and this is the URL that it calls. So you use the get requested this URL here, and then it saved it. So you save do file as update.js, and then it executed this WS script executed using this Windows native binary, and it downloaded it here, and then executed from there. And that's all we have. So this is our entry point. We got to make a note of the name. And now we're gonna use Volatility, and that's already installed for us. So we want to do -F to select memory dump, and you can, and it might take some time at first. And it gives us our options. See, so we have lots of Mac, Linux, all these options here, Windows, but this is a Windows VM, so we just have to start with this. So there's a lot of options we can choose from. There's always a couple of ones we want to start with, right? So I always like to start with CMD. So we just really need this first part here. Clear it, and like I said, it might take a little bit of time. So there it is. So it's two frameworks to Volatility. There's Volatility 3 and Volatility 2 and Volatility 3. I prefer Volatility 2 just because it's been around longer, and it it has a lot more plugins and features that haven't been ported to Volatility 3 yet. At some point they will be. So that's one of his main advantages. Disadvantages of Volatility 2 tends to be a little bit slower, where a lot of times for Volatility 2 you have to find out what the profile is. So you have to first get the image information from the memory dump, and then if it finds it, then you can select it, and then you can begin your process. But you have a lot more options. Now, the advantages of Volatility 3, as you can see, I don't have to tell which profile to use. It already knows based on the command I'm using. That's definitely the case for Windows. So, and it is, although right now it seems like it's loading, I think that's just the VM's capability. It is, once it loads, it's actually much faster than Volatility 2. So definitely, there's one that has one advantage over the other. So while we wait for that to load, let's see if we can look at this Word doc and LibreOffice Writer. Go find some interesting things. We could probably look at the macro ourselves without having to use OLVVA. If it opens, I guess it did it. No, okay. Didn't try before, it just seemed like a fun thing to do. Let's try it again. If it doesn't work, we'll abandon it. Ah, there it is. It just takes a second, I guess. We're almost there anyway. Let's see. Probably shouldn't click on it too much. There we go. See, so it may contain macros. And see what this document looks like. So there it is. No. Okay. Do I have to open? I hope not. So first thing I want to do is tools, macros, organize macros, edit macros. Is there options? I didn't read what security. So let's see. Is there one for macro security? So let's see. Confirmation required. There we go. Let's do that one. That's always a good choice. Of course, only do this when dealing with in a secure environment. So we could do edit macros. There it is right here on title. See if there's anything that stands out. Project. We may not see it. I may have to. Okay, nothing there. Nothing here. Macros, auto open. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I just had to click on it. So as you could see, nothing here. So we could have just, without using OLVVA, we also could have just viewed it here. So see, that's the path. Okay, and that's the URL we had. So this is all this macro is doing. So, which we already knew, right? So we have that. Can close that out. Oh, okay. I did open it twice. Just gonna disable macros for now because I didn't need it. I guess I just opened it too much. There we go. Oh, okay. So it finished. So we have so cmdline is a good place to start because it gives you the process ID, the process that it used, and command lines ran on PowerShell. I believe CMD as well. So we have a couple things to make note of. First thing is, see, we have WinWord and Outlook. So it started. So we can start now have almost like a map of how it started. Have the resume here. We have the location of the Word document. I could show you another way to get it later. So we have the full path. This is where it was downloaded and executed from. And we have also, for update, we have this strange binary here, updater. And then so it seems to follow a path. So we started with this, right? Started with this and then went into this, right? And then this. Okay. So We can confirm that. Another useful one is viewing process lists. Now you'll see that it'll activate much faster because it already cached in. So we knew that one. This is the odd one we found before based on the name update.js. We have the thing that's PID, or is that process ID? Process ID, then parent process ID. That went too fast. So updater, process ID 6216. Then we have the parent process ID, which happens to be this. So this is the parent from this. We got this spawned from that. And then this connection host spawned from this. And this is what, and right here we have what was used for get the memory dump. So let's now, another good way to view this. I always like to run process list first, and then I run process tree. But always a good idea to run both, because now we can confirm what we already saw. See, so we have right here. So starting from Outlook, right, which Explorer, that's your main desktop window, your file explorer. Got Outlook. Outlook spawned from Outlook. You can tell by the stars. We got Word. Got two spawns here, both which started from then right here. This one started, that we already knew this, so this started from Word. And then we got Updater that started from here, Conhouse that started from here. Okay, so that's very good to know. So now so then from here, now that we have kind of like an idea of where everything came from, let's look where this came from. We know it started from that URL, but can we find more information about it? There's definitely different ways. So let's think about how volatility works. Volatility, the way I look at it, it's just a very advanced strings command. It parses through the memory dump and gets us the info that we'd want, right? We could run strings command ourselves and look for things ourselves, but it won't sometimes be as pretty and it won't be as detailed. So what we want to do is go strings, and now we can grab for things that we're familiar, right? We could do let's see, we can just do update. We could do wildcard exe. Could do that. And see, and we can do -i. See if, just in case it's named something else. And it might take some time because it's a very big file. I think it's like 1 gig. But so far we know the process ID of where everything started, and we eventually want to find out where this is located. I don't think I did that right. Let's just do update. Let's do that. There we go. So it's gonna go through a lot of things. I might have to, there's too much noise, right? So let's do update. Let's do update. So let's look at anything that's update, and then let's look for anything that's exe and see if we can get anything out of there. Anything, okay. So nothing so far. Well, we think we found this location here, so that's always good to know. See if there's anything else. Anything else that stands out. Okay, that's something right here. It's quick, but just missed it. It looked like there it is. So where did this come from? So another thing we could have done is we could have seen if there's another calls to that domain. So this is where it come from. This is where it came from. So let's clear it. So let's look at this. And there we go. And we knew that domain from the macro, but now we got more confirmation. And there it is. So at some point we got, it came from this URL, right? So now from there, let's look at any connections. Windows net scan. Don't know why I did that. There we go. Let's do this. NetScan will show us any different open connections, TCP, UDP connections that were happening at the time when we captured the memory dump. So might take some time, but if there is some kind of connection that is interesting, what I like is it tells us. So it tells us the binary, the process ID right here. So we already knew this process ID. This is the suspicious binary. We have an IP address and a port, 8080. That's not standard, right? So that's definitely something to keep in mind. This is probably where the C2 is connected to. So we had already found the file location right before. But if you wanted another way of finding it, I'm going to use one of my favorite plugins. So file scan. Now the output of this is huge. So what I'm going to do, I use grep a lot to kind of figure out where where in the system is that file located. And actually, while I'm at it, that's because I canceled it. Let's find two files. Updater. So that's OR, right? That'll take some time. File scan is very useful. You can, because not only will it find you files, you can also extract them, which I think is very, very, very handy. For further examination, maybe you need proof, and you won't see any output right away because it might be taking some time. Anything else we need? No, we pretty much making our way. So there we go. So a lot of times you'll get two hits, but yeah, see, so that we have the full path of the file, and we also see, so this is the C directory. If you're not familiar, most likely the C directory. So we find the files in two different places, right? So what if we want to extract? Become my second favorite. So first thing is I'm going to do files, and I'm going to do, I think it's file dump. No. Dump files. Let's see. I need to select where I want it. Files. Those dump files. And I think there's two. There's virtual address and physical address. So it's VIRT, ADDR. And we want to select here. And okay. So now if I check my files directory, there's two files. Let's just go with this one. So what's this thing? This is a good way to extract files. Let's see. Aha. So this is an executable. It's not that. So .NET assembly. We could probably use something like dnspy to examine it. It's out of scope for this, but definitely if you have a Windows VM, I definitely recommend you doing it. It's a lot of fun stuff to find. So that's one way to examine it. Let's use this. Same thing. Let's see if it actually extracts it. Ah, there it is. So files, I think file should just, I think I'm gonna need the whole thing. Probably need to put commas, quotes. And let's see. is it the same MD5 sum? Okay, I don't know if it'd be the same. Okay, it's not entirely the same, but it does seem to match. So it's probably just something different about it, small things. That is not the same hash, but that is the doc that we found earlier. Okay, so let's see. And the last thing we want is we want to find out if there are any persistence method, right, placed. So one good way is, if we remember, someone actually called this, is to extract all the memory process of a particular process ID. So one thing we're going to do is we're going to use dump files again. We're going to do ps list because I forgot what process, I think it was 6216. So we want everything that was being used by this process, right? All the memory mappings. So 6216. So we're gonna do -o again to mem dump. And we're gonna do dump files again. And I think is --PID. And it's not. It's think is mem map. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Actually, no. I don't think that's it. That doesn't look right. Okay, good. It is. There we go. I was missing that. And it's gonna take some time, but not sure why it does this, but it is gonna export all the memory mappings of this process, and we can examine it. Think of it like a mini dump of the memory dump, and we can look at things like commands, files, anything related to that process ID. And this is very, very helpful because a lot of times you can find what you're looking for. Other times it'll help you find anything, small items that can help you parse the main memory dump as you need it. So if we do mem dump, and for this you have to just kind of take educated guesses. So I always like to look at things like PowerShell or CMD to see what stands out. And the output won't be as much as the main, but things are definitely gonna stand out. And nothing yet. Might find something. Let's see. Okay, a bunch of stuff. I might just do cmd.exe. Probably got a lot of output there. So let's do exe. PowerShell exe. There you go. Oh, we don't just get CMD only. And okay, we do see something very interesting. Program files, Word, PowerShell. Right. Okay, this is odd. Very odd right here. Schedule tasks. So looks like a scheduled task might possibly been created. Let's look into that. Schedule tasks. Okay, so persistent establishes in listener. So looks like it's some kind of scheduled task, which is a common way of establishing persistence. So now I'm going to do the same thing here. Just going to look for that word. And it also finds what we found before, a couple of other things. Right there. Let's cancel that. We have the full command right here. There's this thing right here. What's that about? B64. There's that one thing. Let's see if we can Base 64-D. Okay, that is nothing. Did I copy it right? It might just been, yeah, it probably just didn't get parsed correctly. Probably something's missing. That's okay. I want to focus on this. We have scheduled tasks. So we have the full command right here. So before we only got part of it, I think, or not the whole thing, but right here we have the full command, and it even tells us that it was. So before we were getting this, but we were missing the part before, and that'll happen with a mini memory dump, but at least it pointed us in the right direction. So we essentially pretty much were able to follow the whole change from start to beginning, right? We got the email where it came from. We got, you know, who our target was, the Word document name, found the first URL and how where that first file was saved and what process it used, the different process IDs. We then found the URL where the next binary came, which was update.exe or updater.exe. Then we found what that updater.exe was downloaded to. We found the IP address it used for communication, and we found where that document was downloaded onto the system, and then we found the persistence method, which was via a scheduled task. So that does it for this room. It was actually a lot of fun. Big fan of digital forensics and blue team content, so this is very well made. As you see, Volatility is a very, very useful tool that I definitely encourage you to get more familiar with. This is a great room to do so. And as well as OLVBA, and as you see, we found the same thing using LibreOffice, but OLVBA, it's a very powerful tool. It can help you with some deobfuscation as well. So also good to have. So feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. See you all next time.